If you're trying to avoid toxic cookware, the internet will tell you that stainless steel, cast iron, carbon steel, and ceramic-coated nonstick pans are the safest alternatives to traditional nonstick pans. But not all brands are created equal, and some pans within these healthy categories have even been found to leach high levels of heavy metals. So which cookware brands are actually worth buying, and which ones should you avoid? Over the past 7 years, I've tested dozens of pans. Beyond cooking a ton with each one, I ran a series of tests to measure how fast and evenly they heat, how well they retain heat, their resistance to scratching, chipping, and warping, their overall safety, and more. I also compared key factors like weight, shape, design, and ease of use. In this video, I break down the top performing options within each healthy cookware category. I also explain the hidden risks you still need to watch out for, even with these so-called safe materials. Stainless steel cookware has no chemical coating, it doesn't rust or corrode, and it won't noticeably affect the taste of food. Because of that, it's considered one of the healthiest cookware materials. However, it's not perfect. Scientific studies show that small amounts of nickel and chromium can leach from these pans into food, especially with newer pans and acidic ingredients like tomato sauce. The good news is that these studies use extreme conditions, like 20-hour simmer times. Unless you have a known allergy to nickel, the actual risk is extremely low under normal cooking situations. So from a health perspective, stainless steel is a great option. But some brands perform much better than others. To find out which ones are actually worth buying, I cooked dozens of meals and ran a series of tests with over 30 different brands. If you want the best of the best, and money is not a factor, there are 3 brands I recommend. Before I get into that, I want to quickly thank the sponsor of this video, Averon. This is the Averon Strong Rower, and it's quickly becoming my favorite way to sneak in a workout, especially on days where I'm doing a lot of sitting, editing videos, or testing cookware. The seat is super comfortable, the grip feels nice, and you can even adjust the distance between your feet. But the best thing about this rower is the programming. So you're not just rowing back and forth, staring at the wall. You can race people, follow instructor-led workouts, watch your favorite streaming service. You can pick from beautiful spots like the Amsterdam canals and the beaches in the Philippines. It's relaxing, but it's a really good full body workout at the same time. But my favorite part are the games. They have a bunch of interactive games where you can blast bad guys, earn points, and it's basically like you're playing a video game while you get a workout. If you're like me and you don't have time to get to the gym every day, this is a really solid option. They also have a gamified treadmill and a bike in addition to the rower. If you want to check it out, I've linked to it in the description of this video, along with a discount code. All right, so back to cookware. I mentioned that there are 3 stainless steel cookware brands that I recommend if money is not a factor. And the first one is DeMeyer Atlantis. This is the thickest fully clad frying pan I tested at 5.5 millimeters. Because of that, it heats slowly, but retains heat better than nearly every other pan. It's also the best performer on induction cooktops. It heats evenly with no warping or buzzing. The second one is Fissler Original Profi. These pans have thin steel walls, but a massive 7 millimeter thick base that spreads heat more evenly than any pan I've ever tested. There was only a 4-degree difference from the center to the edge after 2 minutes of preheating. It also retains heat the best, even better than DeMeyer. Number 3 is Heston Nanobond. These pans can't compete with DeMeyer and Fissler on heat retention, but they're a step above your typical stainless steel cookware with flush rivets, sealed rims, and scratch-resistant titanium-infused surface. Most stainless steel pans develop micro scratches when you scrub them with the rough side of a sponge, but not with these pans. If those brands are out of your budget, the next best options are Made In, Heritage Steel Eater Series, and All-Clad D3 Everyday. All 3 are roughly 3 millimeters thick with wide cooking surfaces and comfortable handles. They don't retain heat as long as the heavier pans, but they heat faster and are easier to handle. And if your budget is under $100 for a fry pan, my top picks are Cuisinart Multiclad Pro, Misen, and Goldilocks. Cuisinart has the most comfortable and secure handle. Misen is the heaviest and sturdiest and has sealed rims. and Goldilocks performs consistently well at a low price. Cast iron is made of about 98% iron and 2% carbon, and it's considered one of the safest cookware materials. However, studies show that small amounts of iron can leach into food, especially when cooking acidic ingredients or simmering for long periods. If you have a condition where your body stores too much iron, cast iron is not the best choice. But for most people, especially those who are iron deficient, this is actually a benefit. I recently tested 6 of the highest rated cast iron skillets on the market, and according to my tests, Smithy is the best overall. It had the best heat retention, the smoothest non-stick surface, the widest pour spouts, and one of the better designed handles. It's heavy and expensive, but it will last a lifetime, so it's worth the investment. If you don't want to spend that much, Lodge Classic is the best value. It costs a fraction of the price and still performs really well. It's heavier and the surface is rougher, but it holds on to seasoning better, and it still passed the egg test with no sticking. If you want a skillet that's easy to handle, Field Company is the best option. It has a smooth surface just like Smithy, but it weighs significantly less and heats up faster. The one major downside is that it warped significantly when I tested it on induction. Enameled cast iron is essentially the same as traditional cast iron, but it's coated in a thin layer of hardened glass. This enamel acts as a permanent barrier that prevents rust and eliminates the need for seasoning. There are some reports that the enamel on vintage pieces made before the 1970s may contain lead, but modern enameled cast iron from trusted brands is safe and doesn't come with any health concerns. Enameled cast iron is the ideal material for Dutch ovens, and I recently tested the top brands. I measured how well the lids retained moisture, how evenly that moisture redistributes over the pot, how hot the knobs get, and how durable the enamel really is. After months of testing, 3 brands stood out as the clear winners. Le Creuset is noticeably lighter than the others, which makes it easier to lift, clean, and store. It also retains moisture well and has wide handles, a comfortable knob, and flawless enamel. On top of that, it comes in over 20 colors. Staub had the best heat retention and did an excellent job redistributing moisture thanks to its flat lid and large self-basting dimples. It also has a high-end look and feel with a matte black interior that hides stains. Made In performed well across the board. It has the widest cooking surface, the widest and coolest knob, and it came in second for both heat and moisture retention. It's heavier than Le Creuset, but it's a solid, well-rounded option. Lodge Essential Enamel is a great value and performs well, but it was the only one that chipped in my durability test. Carbon steel is the thinner, lighter version of cast iron. It's made from about 99% iron and 1% carbon. And like cast iron, it's durable, it can handle extremely high temperatures, and it's naturally non-stick when well seasoned. It's widely considered one of the safest cookware materials, but one brand recently made headlines for the wrong reasons. Matfur black carbon steel pans were recalled in a region of France after testing showed high levels of arsenic, chromium, and iron when the pan was used to boil a highly acidic solution for 2 hours. Matfur is appealing the decision and says the test conditions don't reflect real-world cooking. They also point out that their pans meet all EU and French safety standards and are safe when used as instructed. This ruling may not be totally fair, but until it's fully resolved, there are plenty of other carbon steel pans that don't come with that level of uncertainty. I recently tested several of them, comparing durability, heat distribution, handle safety, and food release. Strata is the most unique pan I tested. It's made with carbon steel on the inside, aluminum in the middle, and stainless steel on the outside. That construction makes it lighter than traditional carbon steel, and it heats more evenly. It also had one of the best egg test results and the most comfortable handle. The downside is that it has below average heat retention. Debouille Mineral B Pro had the best heat retention of the group and a comfortable stainless steel handle. It's heavy and the seasoning doesn't adhere well to the slick surface at first, but it performed well across every test. Debouille Blue Carbon Steel is thinner and lighter, so it doesn't hold heat as well, but it heats up fast, it performed great in the egg test, and it's one of the best values. It's a solid, affordable option, but don't buy it if you have an induction cooktop because it warped in my induction tests. Ceramic nonstick pans have an aluminum or steel base with a slick and glossy coating on the cooking surface made from sand-derived materials like silica. Unlike traditional nonstick coatings, this kind doesn't contain PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, and it won't release harmful fumes if you accidentally overheat it. This type of cookware has only been around for a couple decades, but it's generally considered a safer alternative to traditional nonstick pans. The big drawback is durability. Ceramic nonstick coatings wear down fast. That's why I only recommend owning one fry pan just for delicate foods like eggs. To find out which ceramic nonstick pans are actually worth buying, I tested 6 of the most popular brands. I cooked with each one out of the box, then I ran a series of stress tests to simulate months of use, and after that, I cooked the same foods again to see how the nonstick performance held up. None of the pans came out of the testing with flawless performance. All of them declined to some degree, but a few still held up reasonably well. My general advice with this type of pan is to go with an affordable option like a Green Pan Valencia Pro. It held up well in the stress tests and performed the best on induction with no warping or buzzing. Made in Ceramic-Clad performs well, it's made in the USA, and the 5-ply stainless steel base is sturdy. But it's one of the most expensive ceramic nonstick pans, and if the coating wears out, which it eventually will, you've spent a lot of money on a pan that you can't really use anymore. Only buy this pan if you plan to take good care of it. While I'm on the topic of ceramic, I don't recommend pure ceramic stovetop pans like Extrema. They're considered one of the healthiest options and pass all the independent testing, but performance-wise, I'm not a fan. It heats really slow, food sticks badly, and it can shatter if you accidentally drop it. If you're ready to buy or just want to learn more, I've linked to all of my top recommendations across all cookware categories in the video description. And if you're still not sure what to buy, I've also linked to my Cookware Finder quiz. Just answer a few quick questions about your needs and budget, and you'll get an instant recommendation. It's totally free and takes less than a minute. If this was helpful, check out this video to get a closer look at the tests I ran to find the best Dutch oven, or this video to learn more about the tests I ran on the cast iron skillets. And for more videos like this, click the logo to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.